Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, my channel all about knitting and cross stitch. Today is January 25th, 2021 and we have a cross stitch video this week, so let's jump on in. There are two places that you can find me on the internet. The first is on Instagram at birch.and.lily and the second is on Ravelry at birchandlily. So, this episode, I have a finished object, which never happens with cross-stitch stuff, but I am really excited to show this to you guys. So, as you know, I have been working on a Shepherd's Song by Plum Samplers for quite a while now, probably since March or April of last year. So, last episode that I talked about cross-stitch, I was very close to finishing, and I was able to do that. So, maybe I'll stand. There we go. So I have a finish. This is my finished product. I stitched this up on 40 count winter brew in all of the called for threads. I did stitch this one thread over two linen threads. So 40 count basically means how many stitches that you can get in 1 inch of fabric. So I can get about 20 stitches in 1 inch of fabric because I'm stitching over two linen threads. If I was stitching over one, I could get 40 stitches on it, so on. So yeah, I stitched this one over two, and oh my goodness, I am so happy. I need to go find a frame for this right away. This is going to have a very prominent place of honor in my home. Absolutely beautiful pattern. Like I said, I did stitch this with all of the called for threads, the called for overdyes. So this is what was called for. I changed nothing. That's basically it. But I'm so happy with how this turned out. I am so proud of some of my 1/1 stitching, like these words, and I don't know, I haven't done a lot of 1/1, so I'm just really pleased with how that turned out as well, and I cannot wait to get this up on my wall. I don't know if it's going to be in the craft room here or on the main floor of our house. Probably main floor because I spend more time down there than I do up in here, so. And the reason being, at the moment it's a mess again and my dog isn't allowed in here when it's a mess. So I think tomorrow I'm going to do a nice deep clean in here so that I can come work up here again and she can spend time with me. But anyways, I digress. That is a Shepherd's Song by Plum Samplers. I'm very, very happy with it, and yeah, it's done. So for once I have an empty project bag. We'll see how long it stays empty. I might pull something out of that bin right there. Those are a lot of whips that aren't currently in rotation, so maybe I'll pull something out of there and add it into rotation with all my stuff downstairs and put it in that cute little sheet bag because I love it so much. If you haven't been watching, this is the bag it was in. This is from Pretty Southern on Etsy. She makes beautiful bags. I won't flip this around because the pattern will show, but it has a clear vinyl front to it. And I mostly, almost exclusively use her bags. They're just so pretty. I love the fabric she picks, and they're very well made. So yeah, this is all finished. I guess I might as well show you the back. That is what the back of it looks like. So I'm pretty proud of that too. It looks pretty darn neat. So not that I'm concerned about it being neat, but I just try not to carry threads across the back very much because then you can tend to see it in the front when it's finished and framed. So it kind of shows through the fabric then. But yeah, all done. Very happy, very excited. And yeah, I should stop rambling about it. I will get it hung up though in my closet. It's all ironed and stuff, so I don't want it to get wrinkly. When I say hung up, I literally just clip all of my finished objects to a hanger until I have found a frame for them. I really should go and either get some of it framed or go find some frames myself, but I don't leave the house much anymore, so that just hasn't happened, but I really should, because I have a lot of favorites in here that I would love to hang up in the house. So if somehow I end up sniffling on this video too, I should mention I'm not sick. We have been pulling up carpet in the house, and the previous owner had a lot of cats, and I'm allergic to cats, so the dander and the dust has just been floating around the house, and it's making me very sniffly and stuffed up. So not sick, no worries, just cat dander. But anyways, that is the only finished object I have, so we might as well jump into works in progress. So this is something I don't think I've shown in quite a while. This is his eyes on the Sparrow from Heartstring Samplery. Another pretty southern bag, also a vinyl front one. And I am stitching this project up with the called for threads, all of the called for overdyed threads. I don't know if this pattern comes with a DMC conversion. I'm not sure. I guess I could look. Yeah, I don't think there is a DMC conversion for this pattern. There might be something online though if you were interested in stitching it in DMC instead of overdyes, because I know they can be a little bit expensive sometimes. But I am doing this in overdyes. I am stitching it up. I guess I'll show you these quick. Lots of pretty colors. I love this pop of blue here. It's Brethren blue. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite blues. But yeah, those are the threads I'm using. And like I said, I am stitching this up on 40 count Mallow. This is my absolute favorite fabric. If you haven't watched before, you wouldn't know that, but it's very reasonably priced because it's partially linen and partially cotton, so that drops the price of it a lot compared to a lot of other linens, but I still think it looks just as nice. It's neutral, it matches with basically everything, so I have been using it for quite a few projects lately. The more money I save, the more I can do, right? So I've mostly been working on the border on this, and I will stand up again because this is very big. So I've mostly been working on the border on this, just doing all of these leaves and stuff, to be honest. I kind of have that portion of the pattern memorized now, so I've just been working around as I watch movies and stuff. That gives you an idea of the whole thing. And then other than that, I have finished this flower, put this little guy in, the squirrel, this bird, and the crown there. I still haven't figured out what the heck is going on with this bird, but he is off by one stitch. But he's in line with everything else, so I don't know what I did. I just will make sure that I don't count any other motifs off of that bird. I'll count off of some of the things that I know are in the right spot. But that gives you an idea of what I have done for motifs so far. The whole pattern, I'll have put a picture up on the screen, but if you split it down the middle, it's mirrored but with different colors for each motif, if that makes sense. So I'm working across the whole one side is kind of my plan, and then I'll move over to the other side because then I won't be bored of doing the same thing, is what I kind of am hoping. I don't know. We'll see. But it's been really fun. It's nice to do tiny things like this, and you get satisfaction every time one little animal is finished. So, really enjoying that. I'm also kind of itching to get it done now because I want to start the other companion piece for this. I think it's called Consider the Lilies. I will try and pop a picture up of that as well, just in case you're curious, but it's also by Heartstring Samplery, and it kind of goes along with this. It's the same border, basically, and the same size, but just different motifs, and I love the colors of it. I don't know, something about it is just fantastic. So I'm excited to keep working on this and complete this, and then be able to start that other one. So my focus has kind of moved to this quite a bit just because, I don't know, I've seen some people working on Consider the Lilies now, and I really, really like it a lot. I have no idea where I'm going to hang these in my house. They're very large, but they're fun to stitch, so maybe I'll make them into some sort of tapestry or something. I don't know. I really don't know, but they will find a space somewhere, and they'll look really nice. So I don't stitch with a place in mind, per se. I just kind of stitch for fun. But the only other thing I have to say about this one is, again, because I'm stitching on 40 count, I'm stitching 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. So I'm trying my best to try and remember to say that, because I know I haven't in the past, and I'm sure that's something that some people would love to know. And of course, if you ever have any questions about anything, the comment box down below is a wonderful place to ask me, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so another really big project that I've been working on and loving is Saviour's Praise. It's a pattern by Shakespeare's Peddler. Another pretty southern bag, of course. And I'm stitching this pattern up as well with all of the called for threads. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Beech Brew, which means I'm also stitching this project 1 over 2. So here's an idea of the colors. It does use a lot of anchor threads. Anchor is kind of equivalent to DMC, just a different brand, which makes the floss very reasonably priced. Because all of these here are anchor threads, and there are only 4 overdyed flosses. So if you're looking to do a larger project and you want to get kind of an idea what overdyes are like without having to buy a whole bunch of them, this is a really good one. Just want to fold this fabric up because I have a lot and I haven't. I will use it, but I haven't used it yet. So this is where I am. I always cover my face when I do this, but I hate holding it sideways. So since the last time, I will fold this in half because this whole side has been done. I'll give you a quick peek though in case you haven't seen it before, but nothing on this side is new. So I'll fold it in half and then I'll give you another peek at the full thing again before I put it away. But since last time, I finished all of these words here that are on the page I am currently working on. When I say working on a page, the pattern is so big that they can't fit the whole chart onto one sheet of paper, so it's on multiple. So what I'm doing basically to get through the pattern is working a page at a time, so I make sure I don't miss anything. So the first section here that's all done was a page, and then now I'm working on this page, and then this side here from like, I don't know, there's another page too. But so I'm kind of working on 2 pages, jumping back and forth, but I think I'm mostly done the second page now. So, actually yeah, I am. Minus the year. I'm all over the place today, but the year that I finished this is supposed to go there, so I obviously haven't filled that in yet because I don't know when I'm going to finish it. But now I'm working along down the border, and yeah, I don't know, I'm really having fun. Again, this is kind of one of those projects where there's a ton of tiny motifs, so it's really satisfying. The whole border is just full of all sorts of tiny little flowers and berries, and like there's a little pair of scissors there and a spool of thread. I don't know, it's just really fun. And if you are a Christian and familiar with the Beatitudes, the whole border is full of them. So love is there. What else is on here already? Patience, peace, hope, joy, faith. So I don't know, it's been really fun to kind of think about those verses while I've been working on it too. Yeah, I really enjoy it a lot. Now this is not a reproduction sampler. This is not made based off of something that someone stitched in like the 1800s or anything. This is totally designed by Shakespeare's Peddler, but she has designed it so that it kind of looks like it's really old, and that some younger child did it. So there are some mistakes kind of mixed into the pattern. I'm picking and choosing where I want to do mistakes and where I just kind of want to make it look, I don't know, more like it's supposed to be that way, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know. I'm picking and choosing. I'm not following the pattern exactly is basically the best way I can put that. So yeah, really enjoying this. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I don't know, 40 count is so fun for me now that I tend to gravitate towards my projects that are on 40 count as opposed to something else. I like only having to use 1 strand of floss because I'm cheap and I'm lazy, and then I only have to pull 1 off and thread 1 off or one onto the needle, so I appreciate that, and I don't know, it's just really fun, and might as well do it while my eyes are still good and I can still see it, is the way I think of it. So 2 more projects. This next one is not on 40 count, so that's a little bit of a change. I think all the bags this episode are from Pretty Southern, because this one is too, and the other one there, I'm pretty darn sure is from her as well. So this project here is Let It Snow Bungalow. It is a pattern from Hands On Design. I have hair attached to my glasses. I think so. So I am stitching this up again with all of the called for threads minus 1. When I purchased threads for this, the red that the pattern calls for was not in stock. I cannot remember what it is, but I ended up just pulling a thread from my stash. I am using Color and Cotton Parlor. So I think the red that the pattern... I take that back. It looks pretty darn similar to the picture. I'll have a picture, obviously, up on the screen, so you can compare it as well, but that is the only thing that's different. Otherwise, the rest of the threads that I have here are the called for ones. Very simple. Only 6 colors that the pattern calls for, so that's kind of nice. And I am stitching this up on a 28 count fabric. It is a 28 count black Jobelan, which means that I am stitching this project 2 over 2. So I'm using 2 strands of floss over 2 threads, which is kind of why I think I don't pull it out as much, because like I was saying, I like only pulling off 1 strand of floss and keeping it easier on myself. But anyways, I do have, this is a series and there's 1 pattern for each season, and I do have fall and summer done already, so I do try to work on this like once or twice a week, just because I would really like to have them all done, because I think they are really cute. It's not that I don't like it, it's just, I don't know, I get distracted and don't think about this one. So if this is where I am on here, since the last time I did this, I think, let's see, I finished off the roof. I didn't have the full roof done here. And then I started filling in the red. I don't know if I've done anything else. Oh, I did also put in those 2 branches at the bottom of the home banner. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think I've done much else. This project is so hard to work on in the winter because I really only pull stuff out in the evenings, and by that point it's really hard for me to see the holes on the black fabric. Even though it is 28 count Jobelan, I do have like a little headlamp that I use sometimes, and I also have an aught light, but the aught light stays up here because I don't have anywhere to set it on downstairs by the couch. So I'll wear my headlamp once in a while, but I find for some reason after a while of it being on my head, my eyes start to hurt, even though I'm not shining it directly into my eyes. I don't know. I don't always pull it out in the evenings because of that, but I still try and get some work done on it once in a while. If I have a couple, like half an hour during the day or something, I'll pull this out. But I really should try and set aside like some time every day just to work on this one so that I can get it done, and we'll be ready for next winter, because I don't think it's going to be done for this winter. And then the only other one I have to do is spring, which won't be done in time for spring. Is what it is. But I don't know. I usually put the summer one up, or the past couple years I have, instead of the spring one, because it's kind of springy, but I still want the spring one done. So, is what it is. But yeah, I worked on that a little bit, so that's good. Gotta try and keep that up. Keep myself accountable to getting that done. And the final project that I have to show you is unfortunately a pattern that is discontinued. You can still get it sometimes if you're hunting on eBay or some sort of stash unload or something. That is where I got mine. This pattern is Birds of a Feather. It is a pattern by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais, and another Pretty Southern bag. I am stitching this up with all of the called for threads, and they're really pretty. Nice and primitive. I don't know if you've noticed, but basically every project I do is kind of this color scheme. Lots of like greens, browns, couple pops of color here and there. I don't know, that's what I like. It matches my house, so that is what I go for. I am stitching this on another 40 count piece of linen. This is vintage gray, and I am, of course, stitching one thread over 2 linen threads. This project has been causing me grief. I keep finding mistakes, so I think I'm going to put it aside for a while just because of that fact, because I think, or at least I've noticed, if I find one mistake and then I try to keep going, I just keep messing up more, so it's better to just set it aside and leave it for the time being. But this is what I have so far. Alphabet's done. The birds and the leaves are in the correct place, but the problem that I found this time is that, what is it? Here, let me fold this so it's easier to hold. So I had all of this done, and I have to tear it all out because it's in the wrong spot, which then puts this whole bottom thing in the wrong spot. So I'm trying to figure out if I should just leave it and make sure I just make things up and don't count off of it, or what I should do. I do have to take this out and move it though, so that, as you can see here, it connects to the border. So if I don't take it out, it doesn't connect right and it doesn't look right and it'll bug me. So that definitely has to come out, but hopefully that's the only thing that has to come out and it will work. Otherwise, we'll see. But yeah, I think I'm going to put this away for a while and just give myself a break because it's frustrating me. But it is beautiful and it's not too big, so like, I don't want to leave it too long because I can totally get it done in a decent amount of time and have it up and framed. But yeah, is what it is. Can't always count everything right. But yeah, I love it. Otherwise, it's absolutely beautiful. If you can get your hands on the pattern, it's totally worth it. So that is that. And that brings me to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love if you consider doing so. You can also click the little bell down below to get notifications every time I upload a new video. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully see you again next week. Bye!